Ladies and gentlemen, it is Alex Koons, and I'm sitting here at Run It Again Studios. Michael Fiore, the best man at my wedding, has allowed us to start setting up shop here. Matt is moving to Palm Springs, and so recording to Hot Tongue, I think is going to be a no-no. We are going to be doing episodes, of course, in people's pizza shops, but hopefully here at Run It Again Studios in Highland Park. Run It Again Studios is very special to me because after a night of drinking, some Bullet bourbon, and I think some Peronis, we had a night. It was raining here. It was a dark and rainy night. I think it was like 12:30, 12:45. I walked down to Denny's, and after 20 years of being a vegetarian, I sat at the bar and I said, give me a double bacon cheeseburger. Oh, man, it was disappointing. It was disappointing. It was disappointing to lose my V card that way. But hey, I've been eating meat ever since, and I never looked back. But it was a life-changing experience, and it's going to be a life-changing experience recording some pods right here at the Run It Again Studios. That's where we're at. This episode is brought to you by Maestro Sausage, the only sausage we use at Hot Tongue. They produce sausages specifically with pizzerias in mind, and you can tell. So if your sausage isn't hitting all the right notes, let Maestro lead the way. Thank you to all of our sponsors of 2024. We had great collaborations. We are excited to introduce even more sponsors and collaborations in 2025. We got some sick stuff on the horizon, some awesome people that we're excited to work with, and more on that later. But let's talk about 2024. That's why we're here. We're here for the wrap-up, baby. We're here to wrap it up, put a bow on it. I don't know if you remember last year's. It was huge. People loved it. That's why we're doing it again. All right, 2024 overview. Here it goes. 89 total episodes we're at. We are about to hit the 100 mark, and it's very exciting. Almost 100 episodes. Very exciting. Crazy that this started, I think, in February. Will be our third year of doing the podcast. Crazy how time flies. We have listeners in 60 plus countries. Unbelievable. You know what I'm talking about? The U.S. Hey, Canada, I talked about you last year in the wrap up, and y'all showed up. We got mad Canadians listening. I couldn't be more happy. And you know who else showed up? My people of Poland. Not known for their pizza, known for their pierogies, but known for listening to their boy, a Polish kid from Seattle, making authentic New York style slices. You know what I'm saying? Just joking out there. Anyways, a lot of listeners all over the world, Singapore, Argentina, around the map. Okay, let's get into some hidden gems, some episodes that we went through, handpicked, and thought definitely go back if you haven't listened or re-listen to them again because they are full of just incredible information. We're so lucky this year to have such great guests. These were just some standout hidden gems that we thought everyone should go check out. So the first one is Ronin, pizza with a bow tie. There's certain interviews where I get a little nervous. Kaylin and Daniel, they've been around the restaurant industry for a long time, and their restaurant is beautiful right there is that considered West Hollywood? Melrose. It's on Melrose. It's a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. We sat down. They were so gracious with their time. They had so much information, so much history in the restaurant industry, and just they had been through struggle. And I think that that's what makes a great episode. The more struggle, the more failure, the more things that you've had to overcome, the more there is to share, the more there is to get, and there is so much to get out of that episode, especially them being a married couple, having kids, how they run their business. Their dynamic was incredible, and it's been amazing to become pizza acquaintances and friends with them. I actually just saw Daniel at a pizza event, and he told me that they order Hot Tongue all the time. It really meant a lot to me because the fact that my pizza is in that household, that place that holds so much talent, really meant a lot to me. So definitely go check out that episode. It is full of just dimes of knowledge. The second episode recorded live in Vegas. We did 12 episodes in Vegas. It was psychotic. One of those episodes was with Michael, a longtime buddy in the pizza industry, Michael of Fine Folk Pizza. And dude, this guy was just a guru. Michael had so many incredible things that just talk about managing your team, accountability, looking in the mirror, understanding where your weaknesses are, and understanding where to get better. So much of running a team and being part of a team in the restaurant industry is about looking in the mirror and seeing what you can do better and how you can be better. And we talk about all of that. It's such a good episode. It's full of so many conversations and questions maybe that all of us as owners or operators or people starting a business should be asking ourselves and researching and looking into. Definitely an episode to go check out. So go check out the Fine Folk episode, Cult Classic, with my boy Mike D'Annunzio. Another episode that was full of gems. A lot of laughs were had in Vegas was with Fatu Amano, James Orlando and crew, Chauncey Billups, making us laugh. Doubt it. James talking about, where he came from, where he's at, and where he's going. And James is actually going to be in town here in a couple of weeks. Hopefully we get to hang out, and it sounds like he's about 4 or 5 months away from being in a brick and mortar. But his journey is very inspiring. That episode is full of laughs. It was so great to sit down and meet him at Expo, and then to be able to call him a friend, and that's what it's about: meeting people, hearing their stories, and checking back in with them and building a friendship. That's really important, very inspiring, and definitely a hidden gem. So go check out Fatu Amano's episode, Tribe Called Crust. Another hidden gem, somebody that I was dying to meet, was Ryan from Sanctuary Pizza. Ryan is somebody that I've seen around Expo. I've passed by but never introduced myself, and oh my gosh, Ryan did not disappoint. Maybe one of the most friendly, awesome, easy to talk to dudes in the pizza industry. Hearing about his journey, talking about his path in pizza, where he's going, how he's done it. Talked about the virality, is that a real word? Of some of his content that he's posted, how he's done it, just dropping gem after gem. And just such a good example of somebody in the pizza industry that is there for other people, that cares. I mean, we were lucky enough to do a pop-up with Ryan at Hot Tongue, and I was blown away to see how he works. He pushed out $1,000 plus by himself and donated all the proceeds to the mission that he talks about in the episode. Ghetto gardeners, like just a top-notch human being, and just making incredible pizza. An incredible episode, one that everyone should go back and listen to if you haven't yet, or revisit it, because it is a hidden gem for sure. So go check out Ryan from Sanctuary Pizza's episode, Temple of the Pie. It is a banger. Last but not least was Yukon Pizza's episode, Good as Gold. We sat down with Alex and Justin of Yukon. Yukon's story is interesting. I mean, obviously the heirloom sourdough starter that has been passed on from family to family, but also like where they started out. They started off in a backyard. Then they went to a Vegas test kitchen, and then they actually just celebrated their 2-year anniversary at their brick and mortar right now in Las Vegas at Yukon. The party looked sick. They get very vulnerable in this episode. It is a great episode. Justin is one of the greatest pizza dudes that I have ever met. I think Shaylin actually introduced us the first time. Just an incredible cook. We talk about the smash burgers, Alex's family heirloom sourdough starter, how to manage a team, how not to manage a team, how not to be an asshole. It is a really good episode. They are really good people, and I definitely recommend going back, revisiting, or rewatching this hidden gem, Yukon Pizza, Good as Gold, an incredible episode. Next category we've cooked up for you is some memorable moments. A couple moments that we thought were super, funny or memorable or important, and this first one is of Waldo's Stout. Very controversial, this episode. It's a memorable moment because I believe Waldo cracks a beer at like 8:35, and he brought his beautiful dog Portia, who was just a joy to have at the shop. Waldo cranked out 2 tall boys before 10 a.m., and to me, there's nothing more memorable than that. He talks about flower types, and this ruffled some feathers, and to this day, I think he nailed it. Enough of me talking about it. We're just going to roll the clip.
A lot of people get caught up in using like these hipster flowers, and I need Karen Springs, and I need this. Like, dude, if you know what you're doing, you can turn a $20 bag of flour into like somebody's best pizza they've ever had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's way more important than being like, I'm using this cheese, I'm using this flour. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Well,
like,
everyone can-
just make a good pizza.
What's your dough process today?
It's
What flours are you using?
so it's King Arthur, high gluten, and then it depends. If I can get my hands on some like good flour, I will. But
What's good flour to you?
the 9 to 5,
Dude, because
the hipster flour.
King Arthur is essentially a 9 to 5 flour as
for
well.
sure.
That's like it's
There's
like
that new
it's like you know what I would call
Arden-
you know what I would call King Arthur? King Arthur is hipster all trumps. that high gluten
pretty
that
accurate.
high gluten
Yeah, that's
flour.
pretty
It's just like oh no, I don't use all trumps. I use King Arthur high gluten flour. It's like okay, same percentage of you know protein and
Sorry, it's like $16 bag or $22 bag. You know what I've been messing with lately is what's that? Arden. It's like a cheaper flour. What's it called?
Arden Spring.
Yeah,
Is that what it
something
is? Yeah.
like that. Yeah, not bad.
Also 9 to 5 flour.
Yeah, super 9 to 5.
anything
That's
you
the
get
one that
it-
like
anything
calls
you-
out sick. You know, it's
Holy
like
shit,
you know,
yeah,
like he
that's
works
definitely-
9 to 5,
he's like,
but
he's
like
like,
on Wednesday,
oh man,
a little
he's
shoddy.
hungover.
Yeah,
he's fucking hungover,
Yeah,
and he's calling out.
Exactly.
That's 100% that flour. I'd say any flour you can get at Restaurant Depot is a 9 to 5.
But yeah, for sure. But it doesn't
Mondocco
do-
Power Flour.
You know, yeah, Power. That was. I actually don't mind that one. To be
I don't
honest.
mind any of those
No,
flours.
they're all like they're
get the
all
job done.
pretty much like across the board, pretty similar.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Also, after watching those clips, I just realized how funny I am. Man, I'm a funny guy. Waldo is super funny, but funniness aside, he does talk and make a great point about ingredients and using the ingredients that you have on hand. How you use them is more important than what you have. I do believe that. We joke around a lot on the pod, but I think Waldo is a very, very talented pizza maker. He knows what he's doing. And we can make jokes as we do on this podcast, but he can back it up with what he's doing. So if you haven't yet, go check out Waldo's episode, Pies and Lows. It's a gas. Another memorable moment of a recent podcast. I mean, this whole podcast was a memorable moment, but Nino Coniglio, we took multiple breaks because the podcast was like 4 hours long, but the bakery commercial, incredible. So let's roll the clip.
All right, and now we're going to take a break. This break is provided by Coniglio's Bakery and Goods. Serving low glycemic index, unbleached, unbrominated products all day to you and your family. They're sexy. Your kids will love them. Stop poisoning your babies with chemicals that are illegal in China. Make your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches from Coniglio's old-fashioned bakery bread, but we'll never poison you. We promise.
Go to the bathroom.
We'll be back in a moment.
You want to talk about somebody who's always on? Nino Coniglio. You want him and Shaylin? Somebody's fucking up if they don't have a reality television show within the next 2 years because they are a phenomenal couple, incredibly talented, and really entertaining. I gotta say, that episode is full of so much laughter, facts, conspiracies, cryptocurrency. It's got it all. It's one of our longest pods. That is a memorable clip and a memorable episode. So go check out King and Queen of Pies. Next up, we got none other than the Pizza Buddha himself, Alistair, who we also recorded in Las Vegas. This was one of the most electrifying episodes, which was crazy because I'm pretty sure Al was hungover, but you never would have known it. Al is the kind of personality that when he comes in the room, one, you can hear him because his voice is just so boisterous, but he's got an energy about him. Like, I don't know, it was the first time I met him, it was just like, yeah, dude, like, let's go. I would probably jump out of a plane with this guy or rage for 48 hours with him in Vegas. I would do both those things, Al, just so you know. Just a good dude. His episode was, his story is crazy, and his episode was electrifying. This story in particular was a life-changing story for him. So let's roll the clip. If your sausage needs aren't hitting all the right notes, then let Maestro lead the way. Maestro has been working closely with pizzerias for decades. They produce sausages designed specifically with pizzerias in mind. And you can tell their Italian sausage crumbles look like they were handmade in your shop, and they will taste that way as well. With over 80 years in business, family owned and operated, the family is incredible, and so is their product. It's quality sausage with quality ingredients. Click the link in the show notes. A classical masterpiece awaits you. Back to the show.
My dream as a kid growing up in Guam, I was born and raised in Guam, tiny island. I used to look at America as like the holy grail of opportunity as growing up as an islander. So it was like, okay, I want to be a finance guy. So I want to be a stockbroker. I want to move to New York City. Let me go to college, do that. Went to college, did that, subprime happen. And then more stockbrokers are making minimum wage. I was like, wow, this isn't gonna fucking work.
Oops.
Can't do that. So I went and got a job at John Hancock Financial selling life insurance. What does every stock guy do if you can't sell stocks? Sell life insurance and annuities. So I was doing that gig, riding a moped to work, dressing up in a Ferragamo, you know, decked out like, yo, I'm a power player. Where's boiler room status right now? Let's go, boys. Wall Street. So it's like, I'm selling it, you know, on a moped in Hawaii. There was one day I'm pulling into the parking garage. I used to work for John Hancock. I pull in and I see the CEO pulling out in his M5 and he almost pegs me in my moped. I fucking quit that day, and I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna own my own business, and I'm gonna figure out how to do this because I don't ever wanna be that fucking statistic, right? Or that I'm just a number, an employee number, right? I wanna own something, be the boss.
Yeah.
So I started a pizza place. I wrote a business plan. I bought an existing pizzeria in Hawaii.
You didn't know shit about
Didn't
the
know
restaurant
shit about the restaurant industry, anything.
Al's story is pretty inspiring. He's a pretty inspiring guy. He inspires other people. He's a pizza consultant, and he's somebody that has, you know, had ups and downs throughout his whole career. It's incredibly inspiring. This story is a piece of the whole pie, if you will, of his episode that's pretty inspiring. The whole episode was a memorable moment, though. It's one of the most watched episodes, and Al is, you know, renowned in the pizza industry. He's done a lot of consulting with people, but this is a memorable moment. So if you're one of the few who haven't checked out Al's episode, go watch this one now. It's a feel-good story, baby. This story with Chauncey Billups and James Orlando, the trailer story of Fatu Amano, it's a crazy one. It's also a story that I think I asked for like 6 times on the pod before getting. Roll the clip, baby.
So I'm in that weird ownership mode where I'm like, fuck, we're killing it. Spirits are high. Chelsea, let me train you how to back this SUV up into this wood
I don't know
this
why.
$10,000 investment that I borrowed from a friend. And I lived in Manoa Valley at the time, and like there's a little driveway slant down, and the oven's like parked here, and then like a little 10-foot driveway hill. And it was a little tricky, so that's why I was like, let's slowly start showing you how to attach this oven. So she's like reversing down this little hill, and I'm like, oh, stop. Like I'll lift up the tow hitch. And then I was like, oh, come a little bit more. I was like, now stop. And then I was like, now put it in park. And then I think you put it into park. And then since it's on a hill, she like let go of the brake in park. And you know how like your car does like a little jolt? Yeah. It jolted down. Well, the trailer was like at this elevation to like be cranked down. And so the tow ball hit the hitch. The oven went up like this, hit the carport roof, and it literally just slid off the trailer. And Chelsea got out of the car and ran like Forrest Gump down the street.
You just started.
You're fucking
You just started
laughing.
running.
Yeah.
You just
But that would have been
running.
funny.
I think
That's how you remember it.
That's how I remember it. And I was just like, damn.
Destroyed his life in
Like,
less
what
than
the fuck?
seconds.
Well, so the oven completely.
No, it's fine.
Did you complete? Like the oven was fucked.
You want to see? I'll show you a
Yeah,
photo.
let's see a
after
photo.
right now?
Yeah.
It was demolished.
It was literally demolished.
What the fuck do you do after that?
We actually smoked. That was the first time we, I think, hugged and cried as friends, and then we smoked
some
cigarettes. Just stressed.
Like, what's the fucking
I
what's
don't
the
even
move
smoke
after that? You quit your jobs. It's 6 months after you guys start your shit.
Just
You're
3
like,
months.
3 months. You're like
Yeah.
feeling good. The oven's obviously not paid off yet, right?
No.
I hadn't even make a payment on it. You just swipe.
Where's the oven? Oh my god.
You see
Well,
that?
there's the oven.
There it is. In crumbles.
Oh yikes. Oh fuck. The back of the
Here, let
window
me show
break
you,
too.
yeah, let me show you this other.
I'm looking at these pictures and it's
So-
literally slid off and in shambles. Was this a Ford Explorer?
Ford Explorer Eddie Bauer edition.
Fuck, it's nice.
And then here, let me
nice.
show you another great one.
No window. It just ripped the back.
And then like here's Chelsea and I.
Smoking cigs. Please tell me. Please tell me there's a picture of you guys just
There's
smoking
got to be
cigs on there.
smoking cigs.
Fucking smoking dirt. Kind of a sad story, but you know, it's inspiring because I think a lot of these shitty things that happen to us, it's good to remember that whether it's a week or 2 years later, you're going to be laughing about it in a room full of strangers. It is an inspiring story in that manner because your oven's going to break, your heart's going to break, everything is going to break. Being able to figure that out, figure how to put yourself back together and keep moving, that is the secret of being an entrepreneur. We may not have had a more memorable moment than sitting down with Angelo Womack in his hotel while he was out here doing some consulting in Los Angeles. Angelo is a dear friend of mine, somebody that makes me laugh so hard that my mouth hurts. The episode Power Fart was on fire. Controversial. I think Matt had to do 45 minutes of just extraction from that episode, things that people were not prepared to hear yet. But we will sit down with Angela again. There is probably a part 2 and 3 in there somewhere. But let's roll this clip from Power Fart.
Here's this Zoom pizza guy. He's having the talk with me, and he's doing the whole Silicon Valley thing. Like, let's take a walk outside. Let's walk around the block. And I'm like, okay, sure. So we're walking around, and he's trying to convince me like why it would benefit me leaving the restaurant I owned to work for him. And I'm hearing him out. Okay, In the middle of our conversation, I'm talking to him, and he's looking at me like, and he just fucking lays out this big loud fart in the middle of me talking. He's like, listen to me. And he just goes, and I'm like talking, I'm like, and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, the fuck was that?
Was that a power move?
Total power move. Total power move. Or like, yeah, he power farted me, man. So it's funny because that was kind of
Fucking Silicon Valley guys,
dude,
are
yeah,
weird, dude.
Totally. Yeah. So Mike Judge, I hope you're hearing this out for the next season of Silicon Valley. But
Show
no,
is over.
oh yeah. Everyone on that show's canceled, I think. So he did that, and then it was like whatever, continued the conversation, didn't bring it up. And then just driving home, I was just like I couldn't stop thinking about that fart. And like almost like it was a sign. Like as if God gave him this uncontrollable fart
Yeah.
to like let me know to not sign up for this shit.
Yeah.
And sure enough, what happened? That place fucking tanked, man.
I'll say this, Power Fart. That was the story of the Power Fart, but the episode Power Fart is something that should not be missed. So go do yourself a favor if you have not listened to it yet. Angelo Womack's episode, Angelo of Rad Times Pizza, Power Fart is a must. Revisit or rewatch or new watch, whatever. Go listen, go watch. One of my favorite episodes ever recorded. It is Angelo's Power Fart to the pizza industry. All right, inspiring stories. These are just mentions we want to talk about to revisit these episodes. First one is from our guy, Dominic. Dominic from Bucky's Pizza. Crust or Bust is the episode. Very inspiring. His journey through pizza. It's definitely a go watch. When we sat down with Dom in the summer, he was just talking about signing a lease. He was doing his pizza trailer. He was popping up at farmers markets, and we were lucky enough to go and check out his brick and mortar that he had been operating for like 2 weeks when we were out in New York. And it was very inspiring to hear him talking about something and then seeing it come into a reality. And Dom is having all of the problems that you want. He's so busy. He's trying to reevaluate his whole process and figuring out in a brick and mortar, but it's awesome to see the success. His episode is truly inspiring. It's awesome to see what he's doing now. So go check out his episode, Bucky's Pizza, Crust or Bust. All right, what else we got? The chef Juan Robles of Triple Beam Pizza. His story was incredible. And we talk about something called empathy, which is how you should lead a team. It was a very important part of our episode when we sat down in Santa Monica. It was a newly opened location for Triple Beam. And we talked about Juan's story, where he came from, running other commissary kitchens, where he's going, what he hopes to do. I got to meet Juan. Juan is now a friend of mine. He's making great pizza. He's doing great things. Grit, Family, and Passion, the name of the episode. There's so much information on creating opportunity and how to run a great restaurant. There was so much policy and process on the walls at Triple Beam. It was such a well-oiled machine. I actually got to pop up there this year. Juan just had so much respect in his kitchen. The vibes were so good. Juan is going to do huge things. He already has in the pizza industry, but the dude is bound for greatness. So go check out Juan's episode. Oh, Hesperia, baby. This is one of the coolest slice shops I think I've ever been into. Slice Gods out there in Hesperia. I walked in and so much cool stuff is on the wall. Jacob is actually an artist and has been doing a lot of their social media, which is also one of the best social media accounts, I think, for a pizzeria. It's so well run. Their story is incredible. Kyle is the man behind the pie. In the episode, they didn't have a dough mixer yet. They were doing everything by hand. They were figuring everything out as they went. They recently just celebrated their first year in business, and there's always so much to learn in those first couple of years. And it was a super inspiring episode just because you don't need a big pizza master. You don't need a spiral mixer to make all these great things. You can figure it out on a budget, and they did that with their build out, with their equipment, and their shop, like I said, it's a one of a kind. Their merch, everything, the creative direction of Slice Gods is awesome. To me, it's everything a pizza slice shop should encompass. It has art, it has great food, it is like a neighborhood staple. They're giving back. It is changing the high desert in such a great way, bringing such awesome pizza to their neighborhood, and it is an inspiring story that I recommend checking out if you haven't yet. Slice Gods, dough it yourself, brothers from the same mother, Jacob, Kyle, a delight. It was freezing that day, dude. I'll never forget that. It was a cold day out there in Hesperia, but such a good episode. Go follow them. Do yourself a favor. Some of the best content you're going to get on Instagram. All right. Hottest take. That's right. We had a lot of hot takes. First take, Fatto a Mano, New Haven style pizza. It was an unbelievable take from somebody from Connecticut. We're going to roll the clip.
Let's go to Connecticut.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
in Connecticut.
Well, I want to know, does Connecticut have the best pizza?
No. New York does.
Oh,
Sorry.
shit.
Sorry, New Haven.
That's a hot take.
Sam has talking mad shit about New Haven style pizza.
What don't you like about it?
It's nothing special, in my opinion. I feel like Connecticut just wanted to have their own pizza. Because Boston had their own pizza, New York's got their own pizza. So Connecticuters were like, we need our own. And I'm a little bit of a hater of it.
Wow, this is a fucking
I know,
hot
I'm gonna
take.
get
Straight out of Connecticut and talks
I'm gonna
mad
get,
shit about
Just
New
saying
Haven
that,
style pizza.
I love that take. That's like, yeah, people from Connecticut just wanted their own style.
They did. I'm sorry.
So they started burning pizza and
Someone's
calling
gonna come for me and kill me. Someo's gonna murder me for this.
We're gonna get some hate mail. This is gonna
God.
be
Yeah, the DMs are gonna flood in.
yeah.
Okay, that is a hot take. Sam is still alive, just so everyone knows. No one tried to kill her. I will tell you, I will let you know, though, that New Haven people are slowly becoming the gluten-free people of the industry. Okay, listen, here's a hot take. All pizza is good pizza. Everyone from New Haven needs to chill out. I don't know who gave them I think they were just awarded the pizza capital of the United States. We all know that's a lie, okay? The pizza capital of the United States is probably, and will always be, New York City. Connecticut people, please chill out. Stay out of the DMs, okay? I love you. Your pizza is fantastic. It's just a hot take. We love it. We love hot takes. I'm not here to give you the truth. I'm just here to give you opinions, okay? All right? I'm just like the media. All right, moving on. This one is best advice. There is a ton of advice given. This is just 2 that we picked that were really great pieces of advice. This was one of the hardest things to boil down. And we're going to start with Scott Sandler. Petty tyrants are here to teach you.
If you don't have a few haters, you're not doing something right.
Yeah, I love that line.
So and haters aren't there they're there for a purpose, meaning that you don't get involved in the individual and who's doing the hating. The hating is for you to be able to have a thicker skin and to be able to overcome criticism and to be able to be patient with someone who's just saying, you just put your whole life into this pizza, and they're saying, this sucks. This is shit, and your whole place is shit.
Is garbage.
Right, exactly. And that's basically what they're there to do.
Yeah.
There's a great book I read a long time ago, and one of the chapters is on petty tyrants. So like a petty tyrant is somebody who is there that annoys you, or tests your patience, and they're also training you to be they called it in the book, man of knowledge or woman of knowledge. No gender there. Okay, so those haters that come on and talk about you or say stuff about you or give you a bad review or whatever, those are your petty tyrants.
Yeah.
And the only way to respond is to not respond and respond with patience, or to be patient when you're at the subject of abuse. And that's what I've learned over all my years of living.
Yeah.
And that's helped me in business. Mm-hmm. I get rattled when I get a bad review, or I feel the same when someone says something about me that especially isn't true.
Yeah.
And that, what can you do? And that's going to happen to everyone. No one that sets foot on this earth is going to be either wholly blamed or wholly praised.
Yeah.
So don't think that you go out and open a pizza shop, you're going to be wholly praised.
Yeah.
And you're going to get all praise. No. You want to get the most. You want to get more praise than you do
on that side.
More blame.
Sure. Yes.
More blame, but blame's just part of it.
Yeah.
Scott Sandler's episode, Petty Tyrants, that whole episode is incredible. Such good advice, because, you are going to get a lot of criticism when you stand up and try to do something that you dream about. There's always going to be people that want to tear you down or tell you that you're doing something wrong or criticize your food. There's always going to be negativity, and there's always going to be people that are unhappy with themselves and take it out on you. Petty tyrants are everywhere. Scott Sandler is a dear friend and such a good episode. He's had a long history in the industry and has been through a lot. So definitely listen to that whole episode. So moving on to the other piece of advice that we have, a lot of people talk about this gentleman and what he can do for the pizza industry. And Angelo Womack gives us some really solid advice on how to simp for Dave Portnoy.
If you're super confident in your pizza and you really actually think it's that fucking great, you want to simp for Portnoy and beg for his golden ticket, it's like Charlie opening up the fucking chocolate bar and finding the golden ticket when fucking Dave Portnoy shows up. You know what I mean? And they're so excited, And I'll say this: here's some advice for anyone who wants to simp for Dave Portnoy. Okay, sorry, anyone as in any pizza makers who want a good score from Dave Portnoy. First off, when he shows up, squeal like a little piggy and get super excited, right? And just let him know that he is your god and that him arriving means the fucking world to you. Okay, so do that first, and his ego will be like, oh my god. Yes, I am that important. Oh, I can't let my plebeians down by giving them a bad score. And then, give him.
I love that word, plebeian, dude.
Plebeian,
It's
yeah.
such plebes is such a good.
So then here's what you do too. It doesn't matter how long your fucking pizza's in the oven. Just leave it in there for an extra 5 fucking minutes. Just fucking bake the shit out of it, because this fucking old ex frat boy who you adore. This fucking burnt out ex cokehead palate piece of shit who just can only feel texture and not taste anything. He needs it crispy. So make it fucking crispy. All right? And then give it to him. And then when he has it, you need to stand right by him and like bite your nails. Like you need to be in the shot. And like, or like you can be like this too, like just adoring him. And then he'll be like, oh, wow. It doesn't matter what your pizza actually tastes like. As long as it is crispy and as long as you're staring at him with fucking hearts in your eyes, he'll give you a great score. He'll give you a great score. And even if he doesn't, if he gives you like basically what's considered like a shit score, like a 7.3, you're still going to simp for him. Thank you, Dave. Oh, you'll be a little disappointed, but oh man, thanks for coming by anyway.
No, you'd be like, that's a pretty good score from Dave Portnoy.
Wow, guys. A fucking
Like anything over
6.8.
6.5 is pretty good.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep telling yourself that. Yeah, man. And yeah, no one's going to go to your fucking shop.
All right. And that's how you get a good score from Dave Portnoy. Moving on. Best non-pizza episodes. Yellow Paper Burger. Incredible couple. They are actually making, in my opinion, the best burger in Los Angeles. And they just got into a brick and mortar that is not too far from where we're recording right now. Eagle Rock might be the new burger capital of Los Angeles, but Colin and Katie, who just got married, in the episode they're talking about like not being in any rush to get into a brick and mortar, and it just so happened that just a couple weeks after recording they signed a lease, and it's so exciting. Any entrepreneurial journey is packed with information regardless of pizza or not, and their episode is a great one. Another non-pizza episode that is fantastic is the Maestro episode. They are a sponsor of the pod, but they're also a family that I've known well before doing a podcast. Being in pizza, Dom, Vito, and Nick, they just have so much information. It's generations of sausage making, and their episode is incredible. It's packed full of all the meat and all the fixins. So definitely go check out the Maestro episode. It's really a great episode, a family-owned business, been operating for over 100 years, and just a gem of an episode. We had 4 crossover episodes. Eric from Restaurant Unstoppable, a huge inspiration to the podcast. He does all of his interviews in person too. It's kind of the reason we do it as well. I just think there's something more personable. Yeah, that's a word. Personable about sitting face to face to somebody, and his podcast is awesome. He got to sit down on mine and I sat down on his. You should go check out both of those. Eric Cacciatore of Restaurant Unstoppable. Luca, LA Countdown. Luca is slowly becoming, in my eyes, the best place to go for food media. He's got an honest take on a lot of things, and he is really putting out honest and authentic content for the Los Angeles restaurant scene and beyond. It's just a great episode between him and I, and his podcast is great. Obviously, Bruce Irving of SPM, Smart Pizza Marketing, one of the, if not the man who started pizza podcasting before anyone else has picked up a mic. He's been doing it longer than anybody, and his content is just getting better and better. His marketing advice, his management advice, all of his advice has been helpful to me. It was an honor to have him on my podcast, and it's a great episode, but everything Bruce puts out is fantastic, and I would definitely go check out SPM if you have not. Bruce does so much for the community and is such a great guy. Last but not least, Brendan from Line Check and Got Your Back LB. He came on our podcast, an incredible episode about the restaurant industry, but he also has a badass podcast, mostly about Long Beach restaurants and things and happenings of what's going on in Long Beach. But Brendan is doing some really cool things on his podcast, and it's inspiring to watch, and it was such a treat to have him come up and be on Pie to Pie. So let's get to some countdowns, some statistics, and I know everyone loves lists. This list is the most listened to podcast of the year. Number 3, in full bloom, with my re-sit down with Brian from Rose City Pizza. We sat down with him after just closing his original location in Rosemead. He'd gone through a full build out, and his location in Covina had been open for a while. We talked about all kinds of stuff, but Brian's episode in full bloom, number 3 most listened to. Number 2, OPP, Other People's Pizza, Naughty Pie Nature, 2 of my favorite people I think I've ever met in the pizza industry. Brawlin and Jose are just, they're real ones. I laugh my ass off every time I'm with them, probably because we're equally as self-deprecating. Getting together with them is always just a delight. They make incredible pizza, but their episode was very inspirational too. The fact that they had popped up for less than a year and then got into a brick and mortar. Their business is booming. You know, they're doing what they can their way. They're cooking with 2 Gosney domes underneath the hood. They're pushing out pies and they're doing it their way. It's incredibly inspiring episode, and it's the second most listened to pizza pod of this year. And number 1 most listened to pizza podcast. I don't know if anyone's going to be that surprised. Power Fart by Angelo Womack, one of our most electrifying episodes, and is the most listened to episode of the year. Angelo goes uncensored, no filter. I think that's hard for a lot of people. A lot of people think too much. Some people should think more before they talk, but hey, that episode was so much fun. I swear to God, my gut hurt when I walked out of that hotel room of laughter. Angelo is, I think if you take yourself too seriously or the pizza industry too seriously, like you're gonna break. It's gonna shatter your soul. It's much easier to laugh at the pain, to make fun of the pain, to talk shit about the pain, and he does a lot of that. We say it all the time. Pizza's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be that serious, and that episode is a great time, and the most listened to episode of the year, Power Fart with Angelo Womack. Most watched, yes, they sound very similar, but I don't know if you know this, but we spend a lot of time also filming these episodes, and when I say we, I mean Matt. We should have a statistic on here on how much time Matt spent editing, but if you didn't know that, you should watch these episodes on YouTube. These full episodes are on YouTube, so there's some people on YouTube. If you haven't, go like and subscribe, baby. We just hit 3,000 subscribers, but these are the most watched episodes of the podcast. Number 3. Bake Your Own Luck. This was another revisit with Chris Wallace. We sat down and we talked about all the craziness that had happened at the beginning of the year. Last year, around this time, Dave Portnoy came in to his shop, gave him an incredible score, said that he was the best pizza in Los Angeles, and it literally changed the trajectory of Chris's life. We sat down, we talk about that, we talk about what happened after the aftermath, and just where he was when we first sat down, when he was popping up inside of a bar in Glendale, and where he was at then. Chris actually opened up not too long ago his brick and mortar in North Hollywood. Chris's story is crazy. That episode is great, and the 3rd most watched Pie to Pie of the year. Number 2, most watched Dough, Dharma, and a Pizza Mind. Al, the Pizza Buddha. Another episode that was incredible. A great watch too. Al is so animated. Like I said, electrifying, and he does drop dimes. I mean, he's a pizza consultant, and definitely somebody to hit up if you're looking for help. Al's episode coming in at number 2 most watched, and the most watched episode of the year, ladies and gentlemen, Angelo Womack, Power Fart, most listened to, most watched video. I've said it before, I say it again. You want to have some laughs, you could probably cry in that episode too. It was such a good episode. It's a good episode to watch or to listen to, and the number 1 most watched episode of the year. So that's a wrap. That is a wrap on 2024. I just want to say thank you. The amount of growth that we've had this year on the pod, the people that we have been able to sit down with and talk to, it's been a dream. I've literally got to sit down with pizza that I've literally got to sit down and talk to pizza. I just talked to pizza. All right, I'm losing my mind. I've been talking a lot. Literally got to sit down and talk to people that I have admired for years. I mean, it's been incredible to have an authentic curiosity for these people's stories and to hear everyone from somebody that's just getting started to somebody that's been in the business for 20 plus years. I mean, there's a lot of differences, but there's a lot of similarities in all of those stories. It's just been incredible to be part of people's journeys, to feel that me and Matt are bringing these stories and giving them a platform, and that people are receiving them in the way that they are. It does not get old getting a message saying, thank you so much for doing this episode on, empathy with Juan, or, oh my gosh, the Power Fart episode might be the funniest thing I've ever watched, or Chris Wallace's story, really touched me. Continue to hit me up and continue to let me know what you think about the pod. It really is heartwarming to receive those messages and to meet people through this platform. Being able to do this is a dream come true. It's been so awesome to meet everybody this year. We're excited to meet more people. We have more trips planned. We're planning trips right now. We're going to San Francisco. We're planning on doing a bunch of pods in Vegas. We're going back to New York. We're talking about going to London and maybe China. I think that there's based on the listeners this year, China and Poland might have a pizza scene that we don't know about. We're going to get to the bottom of it, but we are going to keep creating content, having a good time, being real as fuck, and doing what we want to do. And hopefully that it's received well. And I hope that everyone does that. Do what you want to do. Don't be afraid, because everyone's going to know you're a fraud if you try to do something that's like somebody else or that isn't authentic to yourself. I know it's tough. It's hard. This business is tough. This business is hard. If you've learned anything from this podcast, it should be that. But be yourself. Do what you dream, Sebastian. Say my name. That is the never-ending story, which is also inspirational. But do you. We are going to keep doing us. Get ready for a lot more pizza reviews. Dave Portnoy 2.0, rating of good or bad. Okay? I rate this podcast good, and you should too. So go give us 5 stars, rate us, listen to us, subscribe on YouTube. It helps the pod, all of that stuff. But really, huge thank you if you made it this far. We do appreciate everyone who supports this podcast. Love you guys. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. We got some great episodes coming out at the beginning of this year from New York still that I was super stoked about. It's going to be a good year, baby. So buckle up and let's fucking go. Love you guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much.